Hey everybody, this is Beast. Welcome back to my channel. My name is ScottyAllenDay. It's such a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Wait a minute, that's Fred Rogers. I'm not Mr. Rogers. I ain't no Mr. Rogers. Hold on. Well, I've had a wonderful workout at the gym today. I'm about halfway through. I'm pumped up to be able to give you guys an update later on. Not today, because I got another video to talk about. So have you ever wanted to take a 2 or 3 week road trip and see certain sites, locations, landmarks, or events that you always wish to visit? Did you know by building a timeline you could possibly create vacations or a vacation of a lifetime? So I figured I'd talk about that today because, you know, I have taken many road trips in my life. I took one really nice road trip with my family to the Grand Canyon. I created a timeline, gave ourselves a little extra time to keep going, and both of my kids have never, ever forgotten that trip. And basically what I did was I started off, and this is how anybody can be able to do, is start off and go from point A to point B and get the mileage off of Google Maps. Now, if you're going to go off the beaten path, you need to include that. So put that one destination. So let's say from here, if we were starting off in Portland, Oregon, we wanted to go to Santa Cruz, so we went to Santa Cruz. We wanted to go to Las Vegas, so we went to Las Vegas. And we wanted to go to see the Grand Canyon, and then come back up through Reno and Elko, and back through Central Oregon and back into Portland. So basically, that's what we said. And we put the mileage in, and it said it was going to take about 2 weeks to do it. And so we figured out the mileage, and then I figured out the rental of the RV, which, man, that cost me a fortune. But we had the RV, we took the dogs with us, and we had a good time. My daughter slept most of the time because she was just bored. My son watched out the window and, you know, really enjoyed the trip. So basically what you want to do is you want to take the amount of mileage, divide it up. Amount of mileage. So let's say if you wanted to go from Portland, Oregon to Miami, Florida, it's about 3,000 miles. And you wanted to divide it up into 2 weeks. Let's say you had 20 days off, just to make the math a little bit more simple. So pretty much what it's going to say for you to be able to go and take that amount of time for 20 days, going 3,000 miles, would take you approximately 5 days driving straight. Pretty much. You can drive it in pretty much 5 days. That's driving 24 hours. Now you want to divide that up again, and now you have 12 hours of drive time. That's 10 days. Now you can divide that up again, and then you have 5 days of drive time for a 20-day road trip. So that's pretty much how I set up the whole timeline. Now you want to take your points of interest. So let's say my bucket list vacation of a lifetime that I want to do is going to be a music bucket list vacation. I want to start off in Los Angeles. I want to go and see a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go, the Troubadour. I've been to both of them. I've worked at both of them, but back to memory lane. So Whiskey A Go-Go, Troubadour, and then start heading out of Los Angeles. Well, I also want to do the Walk of Fame so I can see the stars. I want to go and visit a few of the grave sites of a few of the musicians that I knew personally that perished, and you know, lay down a rose and move on. So I'd start off in LA, and then I would head off to the first big location, which would possibly be either Phoenix, Arizona. There's a few iconic places in Phoenix that was for rock and roll. It's also been for country music. Then I would want to go up and do a show in Las Vegas. Speaking of which, U2 has a residency that's sold out faster than they could be able to. It was literally like they put their finger on the enter button. It sent it into this information superhighway, and that was it. It sold out. The entire residency for U2 sold out. They're talking about doing an extension, but they don't know if they're going to do that or not. But I want to go and go to Las Vegas. I want to go and see the Kiss Museum, and then I want to go and see maybe a show or two, and maybe gamble off $100. Oh well. So stop off in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, most of the time, is like a music central of just about all music right now, because everybody wants to do residency. It's more affordable. People can come to them, and they don't have to charge an arm and a leg for the tickets, because everything is set up. They live there. All they have to do is catch their limo or drive in, do the show, and that's it. They don't really have to have an entire road crew. They don't have to set up and tear down the stage. They don't have to worry about fuel or anything like that. It's already set up. It's already there. So I want to go to Vegas to see Vegas. I want to go and see a couple of other sites. I want to stop by where the crash site was for Richie Valens and the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly. And I want to place a wreath there. I mean, that's the foundation of rock and roll. That was basically in that plane. Breakthrough rock and roll. It was. I mean, it's a pillar of my life. So I want to stop there. I want to set down a wreath for it, and then I want to go off and visit some other sites. I want to see Patsy Cline's crash site. We'll stop by where she had her plane crash, and then possibly head off towards Chicago. And once I get off to Chicago, then visit a couple of nightclubs there. I head off into Illinois. Unfortunately, visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I griped about it, but you know, I no longer call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I call it the Music Hall of Fame. It is a place where musicians are inducted that collaborated and worked together to build the story of rock and roll, the way I see it. Or inspired somebody to create other music. I really can't explain it until I've gone to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then I can be able to explain it a little better. Now, the other places that I would like to go is I would like to go into Pennsylvania. I would like to go into New York, go into New York City. I'd love to go into Carnegie Hall and just listen. I'd love to go and see where some of the nightclubs were in New York City. I would like to go up to Boston. There was two places that Aerosmith started their careers. I would like to go and visit that, and then head off to Woodstock and have a beer on the hill. So now once I've gone to Woodstock, then I want to start making my way down the coast. I want to make my way down the coast. I want to stop into D.C. There's a couple iconic nightclubs there. Baltimore, they had clubs there. Down into Atlanta, Georgia, where they have multiple clubs. But before I go into Atlanta, I'd want to branch off, go into Nashville, Tennessee, and embrace that. Go down into Gatlinburg and visit a couple of dinner theaters there. Head off into Atlanta and find some of the iconic nightclubs there. Head down into Florida, go down the coastline of Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, head my way back up to Orlando, and pretty much end the trip there. Now, I missed a lot of big cities like Houston, Texas, and New Orleans, but I don't really want to go into that. kind of a detail, because this is a long enough trip. This is probably going to take a whole month to do it. Because in the meantime, I want to be able to stop and see the concerts. On the way into Chicago, I'll probably stop into Branson and pick up a show or two there, and head up into Chicago, and then head into New York and Boston and that sort of thing. And that would be like my basic music tour. And you know, if I'm big enough on this platform, I will put it together as basically a 80s retro style tour, where I actually have the flight boxes and everything else, and we go and check into the hotel room, and we take the flight boxes out, and, you know, I go through my roadie bit and that sort of thing, and just really have a good time on them. But that's gotta come later on, when I got the funds to be able to do it. My wife will have a ball. She'll be laughing her head off at all the crazy stuff that I'm going to do, because I'll do it'll be a bit of Bill and Ted / Wayne's World / Beavis and Butthead style comedy to just really make the trip memorable. So that's basically how you'll put together a bucket list vacation. Start off with a timeline, going from point A to point B, and basically my point A would be to start off in LA, and my point B to finish off is going to be in Orlando. And I take Orlando and I stretch it off to Miami, and bring it up to New York, take LA and bring it up to the crash site of where Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, and the Big Bopper perished. Move it over to Vegas, and then it starts mapping out the entire timeline. Take the total miles and how long you want to drive, divide it all up, and then you can set your drive days. You know, 10-hour drive days. You have a full day in town, and it works really well that way. And you know, I want to do it by RV again, so I don't have to worry about hotels, motels. I can pull into a truck stop and go to sleep. You can pull into a campground and enjoy a campground, and enjoy the entire vacation. Enjoy fulfilling the bucket list of music that I've always wanted to do. Now, a lot of other people have bucket lists like they want to go bike riding. They want to go to the Mojave Desert. They want to go on bike ride down in Alabama. They want to go. Well, that's an easy way to do it. You create your timeline, you find your parks, you divide it all up, and then you just go and do it. But that's how you set up a bucket list vacation. Then you can be able to figure out, okay, am I going to go by van? If I'm going to go by RV? If I'm going to get a trailer? How am I going to transport myself? Am I going to fly? Well, you can't do it. You cannot fly on a road trip vacation. It will be insanely expensive unless you wanted to divide it in half. So I could basically divide it in half by going to Chicago, jumping on a plane, going to New York, and then doing the second part in New York. That'll save me a day on the road. But it's not worth it. So I just basically wanted to share this, you know, with you guys. If you ever wanted to do a bucket list vacation, a travel vacation, a very long vacation, or just something where you can be able to see iconic sites and places that you wanted to go. I had a friend of mine that I helped set up a bucket list vacation. Him and his dad and his son wanted to go see baseball this summer. And they wanted to try and catch as many games as they possibly could in a period of 2 weeks. And so basically I started them off in Chicago. And they went to a Chicago White Sox game. And we found every single game we can all the way to New York City. They watched the Yankees and the Mets. They went up and saw the Boston Red Sox. They went down and they watched a farm team game of the Paw Sox. They went down through Baltimore to watch the Orioles, all the way down into Orlando and finished it off there. They went to the park. They wanted to go to the park after they finished off with the Braves. And that was it. I mean, that was... Well, they went and watched the Tampa Bay Rays. And they came back and they said that was so much fun. They got so much baseball in them now that their son is absolutely addicted. He loves baseball now. They caught fly balls, and they found another YouTuber that catches a lot of fly balls. There was at a few places on their trip, and they actually had him go from... They actually gave him a ride from one game to another game in another city, and the guy told him how he got involved with baseball, and it was like a 6-hour drive, and basically saved him a plane ticket. And it was just an amazing trip. So that's how you plan a bucket list vacation. Set up your timeline, divide it all up, and then give yourself time to be able to move, and everything falls in place. So what do you guys think? What kind of a bucket list vacation would you like to go on to? Where would you like to go, or would you like to travel? Even in Europe, let me know. Drop it in the comment section below so I can be able to see it. When I come back and revisit this vacation video again and rebuild it, I'll probably use some of your examples on there. If I do, I'll make sure you get credit. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And until next time, keep on walking.